on that road, the farmer's market.
Thank you, Mr. Coffee.
You guys ready? You can start whenever you're ready.
All right, good morning. My name is Philip Clements. I'm the Director of Bands and Instrumental Activities. Alan Goodwin, our Associate Director of Bands, is here as well. We're going to walk you through the budget request for the marching and basketball band. And we first of all want to thank you very much for last year's allocation and also for the special allocation that allowed us to go to San Antonio and perform for over 50,000 high school band students at the Texas State Marching Contest. So a little bit about how we serve the university and support the mission. You can see there, we serve the campus, we enhance school spirit, serve as the ambassadors for the university to the community, the region, and in fact the entire state. We perform not only at football and basketball games, but also at certain ceremonial functions, university events, and off-campus recruiting exhibitions. Last year, including the San Antonio trip, we played for over 70,000 spectators. The bands continue to be a source of pride for the university, both on and off campus, through our entertaining and state-of-the-art performances. Our show for next year, I think you're really going to like, is called Electric Cowboy. Some Southern rock, and should be a fun show that everybody in the audience will enjoy. You can see here an example of the different majors that are represented within the marching band. Each year we update that. I think last year we had over 45 students that represented majors other than music. Talk a little bit about program growth. I arrived here in 2008 and we inherited a band that was 100 members. Last year we were over 210 and one of the largest bands in Division II athletics. So we're very, very proud of that growth. We believe it's also probably the best band in Division II. We're a little biased to that. But you can see the growth through the years. But I want to show you also how that parallels the support from student service fees. We had to make a substantial investment in terms of instruments, in terms of lots of different things. And you can see as the growth chart on the previous slide indicated an upward trend, so has the growth from student service fee allocations. That's important, I think, for you to understand, because it's important that we continue to receive that allocation for these two bands. Since these aren't required ensembles for our music majors, it is very, very important that the allocation come from here. We do not have another source of funding. If this group decided not to fund the marching band, there would be no marching band next year. So I just want to say that. To talk you through our budget request, which is similar to last year, we've added some things for the growth of the program. We have instruction and wages. Mr. Goodwin is the teacher of record, but he can't teach 210 or what we believe is going to be 225 students by himself. So we ask for instruction in color guard and percussion and marching, as well as a student librarian at $29,000. And you have a copy of this budget in the handout I just gave you as well. Operating expenses for design, our custom arrangements for the basketball band and marching band drill design and formations that you see on the field. Those are specialists that do those. And then travel for 3 off-campus events, exhibitions, recruiting exhibitions. And these recruiting exhibitions are not just for the music department. These are bringing students to campus in all those majors and just creating a university awareness. Sometimes I'd like to think we're at least the loudest marketing tool of the university. Some operational things, color guard flags, percussion drum heads that wear out, we have to replace as we go through. Brochures and advertising as part of recruiting. And then the things we've asked for the last couple of years that have helped to bring the non-major participation up. Most of our color guard students are non-music majors, and we ask for separate stipends to help offset the course of the class for them. And then for our non-music majors to entice them to be part of the ensemble. It's become easier since the team has started winning to get the non-majors to be part of the marching band, believe it or not. And then also for our basketball band that plays at the ending of the fall games in the spring and then the tournament games as well. One of the things we haven't been able to fund, if you go back to Mr. Goodwin, because we haven't had enough money in the increases, is the students are expected to come in early for rehearsals to be ready for the first football game. Right now, they have to pay for their housing and they have to pay for their food to come in and serve the university. So we're asking for a budget to be able to offset that so that when they come in early, we can provide food and housing for those students as they come in to do that week and a half of preparation. So that's what the $15,000 is. You can see an operating expense subtotal, and then the salary and wages for a total request of $117,550. A little bit about consequences of reduction.
Time. Let's go to Q&A.
What are the consequences of reduction?
I can play a video that's going to show that. That was just about the entire band. This is last year. Very effective. Probably a little school spirit at the end. Yes, sir.
Given that both of these groups primarily perform at athletic events, what contributions, if any, does the athletic department make towards the sustenance of these programs?
That's a good question. That's one that's asked just about every year. They pay for our expenses when we travel to, say, the basketball tournament. There have been years they've requested us to go and do some away games, and whenever they make those requests, we ask that they pay them as well, because that's simply supporting them. We feel like we're supporting the entire campus when we're at athletic events. But other than that, typically there is no support from athletics. Yes, sir.
I'm curious about this. I don't think I've asked this to anyone else who's brought up the idea of travel expenses. Now, is it required by the university, or if it's a university-related event, to have charter buses?
If I can speak to that, when you're transporting 210 musicians plus staff, you're talking about a traveling party of about 225 people. There'd be a liability issue with students traveling in personal vehicles. Not to mention the equipment that we transport is between $150,000 and $200,000 worth of university property. So it's important that we transport those as carefully as we can.
And risk management, I mean, every student has to sign a form, a travel waiver, just that they can get on the bus. So that's a liability issue for the university. Yes, sir.
Thank you. I had been under the impression, and I could be wrong on this, but I'm doing a few different music majors within our honors program and some other areas on campus. It was required of our music education majors to participate in marching band. And at least that was the case coming into this my freshman year. I don't know how that has changed. Maybe it was just heavily encouraged. The part of the opinion was that it was mandated.
Well, it's not part of the degree. It's part of the scholarship requirement that they have, and it's also part of the large ensemble requirement. But basically, for the degree itself, it's not required by the state or by any.
But it's the music department itself who promotes the large ensemble and the scholarships.
That's correct.
Would you be able to give us a breakdown of rough numbers on how much the buses, meals, equipment, and all that stuff individually breaks down?
I can speak to that. Generally, for charter transportation for a day, ordinarily if we travel to an exhibition off campus, we try to do 2 in one day since we've already reserved the buses and so forth. So if you look at a full day for a charter bus, you're looking at between $1,500 and $1,900 per bus times 3. Or times 4, excuse me, plus at this point we're transporting equipment in a small trailer that we have and 2 U-Haul trucks at the same time, just because of that much equipment for that many students. A tuba takes up about as much room as the area where the 4 of you are sitting right now, in storage. So we have to use a couple of equipment trucks. So in general, when we travel for one Saturday to participate in a couple of exhibitions, just in transportation alone, you're looking at $5,000.
Plus the meal, you'll see I put in 18,000 times, so 6,000 times 3. We usually get them a sub sandwich. We're generous that way. We'd like to get them 12 inch, but 6 inch.
Our band service fraternity and sorority, Kappa Psi and Tau Beta Sigma, provide bottled water and the things that their budgets will allow for them to do, just as a courtesy for the band.
So that's kind of how it breaks down within the 6,000 per. Yeah.
Given that we're in a tight budget year with the state legislature, what would you say are the most flexible parts of this budget request?
The things that we haven't been able to fund, we've asked for this and we've gotten this, are the things like the $15,000
where they're coming in early. We've asked them to do that in the past. I don't personally believe it's the right thing to do, but if something had to give, you know, then we cut down the amount of preparation time that we have for the first game and do our best to
How
do
much,
that.
how much time is that?
We usually start about, the staff comes in 2 weeks before we start bringing students in, a week and a half before classes begin.
That's standard at Division I and Division II universities all across the country.
It's just-
Non-music stipends, non-music major stipends.
We have a tiered system. The first year, to reward kind of longevity and participation, we usually start at $250. Then the next year it goes up to $350 and $450, and sometimes we'll have a fourth-year person. That's unusual for a non-major to be able to do that. And so we go up usually $550 or $600 on it. But it's a tiered system to keep them coming back. $250 comes close to covering the cost of the course, so at least it becomes a break-even venture for them to do it. And not everybody gets one of those. It's a select.
Who buys our uniforms?
What's that?
Who buys our uniforms?
The uniforms, actually, the president is funding a new set of
Okay.
uniforms. We were he went down with us to the state marching contest exhibition and was knocked out, and he said, you know, how can I help? And
I thought I had heard you say that your number of band members, marching band members, you anticipate are going up.
right, in fact,
Okay, so-
we've been adding to the number we have, and we're getting new uniforms for next year. They're really cool. You're gonna like them.
So under basketball band, why is the stipend for spring games much higher than the stipend for fall games?
The basketball season doesn't start till the end of November, so there's only a few percentage-wise, maybe 25% of the games that occur in the fall, and then most of them are in the spring. So I just broke that into what we do per game. We basically pay each student per game that they play. Most of them are double headers. So. Yes, sir.
Under salaries and wages, part-time, the color guard instructor, designer, as well as the percussion instructor and arranger, and the visual marching instructor, are those individuals who are already currently on faculty with the music department, or are they brought in?
They're specialists that are brought in. We have one that we're trying to use as the visual person that would be an adjunct in music theory that also has a specialty there. But the other ones are contracted year to year.
Gotcha. To ask about the summer, pre-semester, and semester wages. Now, pre-semester is the week and a half, the 2
Right.
weeks before, but when it comes to the summer,
We do several rehearsals with the color guard and the drum line for audition camps over the summer, usually 2 weekends each. Plus, they're doing a lot of recruiting, and as we have the students come into orientation, they're dealing with that. So it's a small portion of it.
In the case of our color guard instructor, just FYI, once the arrangements are complete, the musical arrangements, that's generally midsummer. Then they start choreographing everything that you see in pregame, halftime, and so that's some of that summer work as well. So they're essentially writing their textbook prior to the first day that we see the students.
If you think of the amount of people involved in a theater production compared to what we're asking for, or the amount of assistant coaches involved in a football team, a basketball team, we're kind of doing it on minimum, to be honest with you. Yes?
In terms of your off-campus exhibitions, are those something that you go to or do by choice, or are those by invitation from other groups?
They're invited by the contest. We've developed a reputation now. They want us to come perform at the end. So, but they are by choice. If we don't do those, we don't get our name out. The recruiting drops and everything goes like
And
this.
does the contest provide any financial incentive to
No,
participate in this?
they don't do that anywhere.
Okay.
They're UIL and TMEA things, so.
For the most part, those are break-even ventures. Just an FYI, we performed at the Texas State Marching Contest, and Mr. Clements mentioned the size of that audience. We've been approached about performing at the Bands of America Grand Nationals, the high school marching band championship for the country. That's at the Lucas Oil Stadium in Indianapolis. That would be a live audience of about 65,000 people and over 250,000 online. So we're trying to build to the point that we can be a nationwide ambassador for the university. And just our name being out there, I think, is important. Our athletic programs, their success in postseason endeavors certainly helps with that. And we know that research activities do as well. We'd like to be part of that. And as Mr. Clements said, we tend to be one of the loudest representatives of the university.
And hopefully most in tune. Not the choir. We'll see. Right. Yeah. What else can I answer from you?
Any other questions?
Yes, sir.
Last question here.
Based on the fact, going back to those individuals who are required based on the terms of their scholarship or involvement with the music department, would it be possible to share some of the costs for those particular individuals? And I realize you might have to do some additional budgeting work with the music department since that does become an academic requirement for degree.
Well, it's not, be clear, it's not an academic requirement for the degree. It's-
Right, in
it's
order
a
to graduate,
requirement
but to
for-
maintain their scholarship,
Well, our
they're
scholarship
required
budget
to
right now
participate.
is, and Dr. Scott will speak to that when he answers the music department, but it's inadequate for what we need to support the entire department, so I won't speak for you, but try to borrow from one.
It's my understanding that our budget from the university itself for operational, some operational expenses for the program and the department has been flat for about a decade. That at the time, you saw in that short video, there were about 85 to 100 people in the band program in total, and it's near 250 now. Not all of those musicians participate in the marching band.
And Will, in terms of credits, a lot of that has to do with what the state allows us to have in a degree itself. So we can't just continue to add those.
Sure.
We feel that's a valuable grant, if you're gonna go out and teach high school band, you need to be in our marching band.
Sure.
So, but it would be, if we move money from there, we would cause issues in another part of the music department. Dr. Scott can speak to that
On Monday.
on Monday.
Okay, we're out of time.
Okay, thank you guys very
Thank
much.
Got agribusiness? Hey, how are you?
We just need to resource that. You need audio.
Tell me when, do they have copy of the proposal?
You should have one in their book, but if you have another one to hand out,
I don't have it, I didn't think, I didn't know it was.
don't worry about it. If you have one, don't worry about it. Oh, okay. Thank you.
It's not one of these speakers.